Hi, Florian.
Hi Remy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
So you are the product manager at Sky Agriculture, and you specialize in a specific range of products. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, absolutely, Florian. I am a product manager on the soil cultivation part. The soil cultivation part is divided into two large categories of large families at Sky. It's the disc part and the tine part. Today we will really focus on the disc part. It's the Methys HDS, the Methys hybrid disc system. It's a shallow tillage tool, a seedbed preparation tool. Today, the objective of this machine, it was created, designed and manufactured to meet a challenge, which is to level and firm the soil to prepare for sowing with a seeder like the Easy Drill or the Maxi Drill. Our goal is to have a leveled and compacted soil with a shallow depth of work and to mix the residues to optimize and facilitate the decomposition of the soil and the resulting mineralization. This machine was designed thanks to several things. The optimization of power that we will try to reduce thanks to different aspects. We will have three types of rollers, with the tire roller allowing optimization up to 25%. The need for power and fuel consumption, we have a roller that covers more than 50% of the surface, and that will allow us to perform effective false sowing. For this, it's really about having a shallow soil work. We will try to work between 3 and 5 centimeters, because beyond 8 centimeters, we have a false seeding that becomes less effective. We therefore have the tire roller to gain power and consumption. We have the W roller, which allows us to properly prepare the soil, to properly crumble the soil. We will mainly focus on seedbed preparation. And finally, we have the bar roller, which is a compromise on certain aspects. That's why the Methys HDS was made. I suggest, if you have any questions, that we move on.
Can you explain in a bit more detail the design of this machine?
Yes, of course, on a Methys, on both the mounted part and the trilled part, because we have two major ranges. The goal is always to have a machine that works as horizontally as possible. For that, we have a roller that is fixed. We have a roller that is fixed at the back. We have a set that is 3 points at the front on a mounted. The goal for us is to vary the working depth by pivoting our disc. As you can see, our discs are in a V shape to facilitate crossing over depending on the passes, to avoid having a ridge furrow at each pass. What allows us to simplify all of this is having independent adjustment of the discs between the front and the back. And of course, to be able to compensate the effort of the front disc with the rear disc to balance this effort. Regarding the depth adjustment, we have here a setup that is very simple, since we just have to remove depth spacers if we want to go deeper, or add them if we want to raise to the surface. We have 3 different sizes of shims to really be as precise as possible and gain in accuracy. There is a second element found here on the disc cultivator part. We find a seeding line. Here we have shoots with a seeding line that we call broadcasting. We have a distribution head adapted to each machine, where we can, as you will see at the front of the tractor, add a front hopper. Here we have the front hopper, the new Progress TF. This is the machine's objective. And as I mentioned just before, just behind our seeding line, we have the roller that will come to press again to really facilitate germination. This seeding line today can serve several purposes, mainly for cover seeding, but it can also be used for broadcasting cereals. Here are the main things about the machine, and then I suggest we simply move on to the first adjustment of the machine. For the initial settings of the machine, as I mentioned at the beginning, it is a machine that must be as straight as possible. For this, we have a 3rd point that we adjust to make the machine as horizontal as possible. We place the machine on the roller. We have hitch arms that are straight for a straight machine. Then we come here to preset the number of scales before going to the field. Then after that, we can simply go to the field to see the first results.
Okay, here we go then.
When the settings are done, I will be able to show you a little bit of everything we did. So here the depth settings, as we mentioned earlier, we simply kept the same ones. We have a good depth setting between 2 and 4 centimeters. We have soil that is already prepared, so the machine goes down well into the depth, all alone with its own weight. We had to adjust the adjustment tie a little bit because the rear disc trains were slightly too high, so the machine had a bit of a rudder effect. We simply extended by 1 turn. This allows us to have a machine that works well and is steady at work. Secondly, we made sure that we had a machine that was perfectly horizontal overall and that it sat properly on its roller. For that, we simply changed the length of the third hydraulic point. What we can check now at the back is at the roller. We have a roller that has filled well at the soil level between the W, which allows us to have a very good soil seed contact, whether for preparing our seed bed or for planting cover crops. So that's what we can ensure and what we see here on the roller. And the last thing, as we mentioned earlier, we have our seeder, so we were able to adjust the dose we wanted and then conduct flow tests on the seeder.
We can admire the result behind you.
Yeah, okay, let's go. So here, indeed, this is the result of the work we did. We have fine soil and also large clods to prevent soil compaction. We are dealing with soils that can be sandy, but also silty. We managed to remove all the roots, we uprooted all the weeds. We were able to prepare a very nice job. We have uniform work in terms of depth. We can see that we managed to scrape the first 3 to 4 centimeters. We are really on what we expected. We were able to prepare our seeds, whether it's for a cover crop or just for a false seed bed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Florian, for this great presentation and demonstration.
No worries, I'm going to continue the work here and then I'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Remy.